As a Lich controls the ever-growing undead army, you have no interest in taking over the world. You're only interested in fulfilling your friend's last request, which was to make sure that the thing they were turning into would never harm another person. My lord, the clearing of her throat and speaking of my title rouses me from my reverie, and I turn my head to regard the robed figure at my door, blinking the weariness from my eyes. I consider him for a moment. New robes, I see, Azra. They suit you. Thank you, my lord, the necromancer replied, bowing his head. He lifted it then, and regarded me closely. I sighed, not out of exhaustion, but because Azra had an annoying quirk of being able to see past my disguise magic. He could see me for what I truly was. I could feel it as his eyes bored into my sockets, traced over the eldritch carvings on my ribcage. He didn't see the fair-haired, well-built young man I was in my youth. He saw the yellowed bone, the burning flames that had taken residence where my eyes had once been. He saw the Lich. You're staring again, Azra. What do you want? My apologies, my lord, Azra said immediately, though I noticed his eyes still surveyed me with interest. Another group of adventurers have appeared at the castle gates. I imagine by now they've burned and blessed their way through the great hall. Almost as if on cue, a rumble shook the castle, scattering dust across the room. I absent-mindedly cleared it from my journal. They seem to have a powerful cleric, Azra added. This caught my attention. I turned back to Azra, an eyebrow raised, though I suppose to him I had no eyebrows to raise. Unfortunately, judging by the magical signature, she is merely a cleric from Iona. Then why are you interrupting me, Azra? The venom in my voice was unmistakable, as my irritation jumped up another notch. I told you to disturb me for nothing less than a cleric of Sariel. So why are you here, wasting my time? For a moment, my mind got away from me, and Azra dropped to the ground, the sickly green runes etched into his flesh, glowing intensely. His scream was lost in a fresh explosion, another shower of rubble. I stood, sweeping past Azra on the floor as I made for the staircase across my chambers. Forgiveness, Lord Azai, I beg of you. With a sigh, I reined in my magic, lessening the effects of the servitude spell on Azra, clambered to his feet, wincing as I began to ascend the stairs. He was hard on my heels, his eyes down, deciding it was best to not risk my ire by staring at me once again. A wise choice. I'll ask you again, Azra. There's no cleric of Sariel. Why are you interrupting me? They They know, my lord. They know what slumbers at the top of the spire. They claim to have a way to fix it. As we reached the landing, I whirled on Azra, my disguise magic slipping as a feeling I had all but nearly forgotten clamped my dead heart. Hope. Explain, I said, my voice deadly calm, soul fire threatening to burst forth at any moment. As you know, my lord, Iona is the goddess of rebirth, from my understanding. The tale circulating in the kingdom now is that Lord Alex can be cleansed with a sufficiently powerful purification ritual from her priest. I take a steady, wholly unnecessary breath. And Azra, would it? My lord? Azra's voice was barely above a whisper. Would a sufficiently powerful rebirth purification spell cleanse Lord Alex? I do not believe so, my lord. Lord Alex was touched by Miel himself. I do not believe that anything shy of the full might of Sariel would be enough to break his curse. Then why, dear Azra, I began, my voice level before rising to a yell, seething with fury, are these worthless adventurers still in my castle? Azra flinched away at my roar, backing up as he summoned his staff. I will handle it at once, my lord, he replied, taking off down the stairs, the beginnings of a necromantic summoning already spilling from his lips. Azra, I called after him. The necromancer stumbled, looking back up the stairs fearfully. Remember, do not kill them, maim them, traumatize them, but let them live. Let them run. Azra only nodded, stumbling back down the stairs and out of my sight. With a grumble, I turned away from the fleeing necromancer, waving a hand at the massive door before me, my own magic recognizing me. The arcane lock opened for a moment, allowing me to slip into the grand throne room, Dilapidated banners hung at the windows, crumbling masonry having torn holes in them years before. I advanced down the moth-eaten, hole-ridden carpet before stopping at the raised dais, taking a knee at the throne. Lord Alex. The armored spirit regarded me wordlessly. A red fire gleamed in its eyes. As I raised my head to look at him, he raged, struggling against the black iron chains that bound him to his throne. I rose fully, regarding my old friend with a feeling I was much more intimately familiar with. Sadness. It's been so many centuries, my friend, I muttered, climbing the dais to stare my old colleague in the eyes. You've been trapped for so long. I don't I don't know if you're still you in there, but I haven't given up. Sariel may think she is above the call of a lich, but that pompous goddess's religion is still around. One day, one day, one of her clerics will free you of this burden. The wraith bucked against its bindings, eyes burning with hatred as it gnashed its ghastly teeth at me. I still remember, Alex. I promised you I wouldn't let you hurt anyone else. I'll keep you here for as long as it takes. I sat down, my very spirit weary even if my bones could no longer be. As long as it takes.